8 ways to handle. Women who don't respect you. Every man will, at some point, face disrespect from a woman, whether it's subtle, passive-aggressive, or outright. The question is, how do you respond? Do you lash out? Do you chase her validation? Or do you stand your ground like a stoic man? Because here's the truth. A woman can only treat you with as much disrespect as you allow. This video is not about retaliation. It's about reclaiming your power with calm strength. Here are 8 stoic strategies every man must know. Number 1. Recognize the signs of disrespect. Without excuses. One of the most important steps in handling a woman who doesn't respect you is recognizing the signs clearly without making excuses. Disrespect doesn't always come in loud, obvious forms. Sometimes it's subtle, interrupted conversations, constant dismissals, sarcasm, eye-rolling, or lack of appreciation. A woman who constantly undermines your opinions, talks down to you in front of others, or uses manipulation to control your actions is showing you something important. She doesn't value your presence in the way you deserve. As a man grounded in Stoic wisdom, your job is not to react emotionally, but to observe with clarity. Stoicism teaches us to view reality as it is, not as we wish it to be. That means dropping the fantasy that she'll change, or it's just her way. No, her behavior is her message. And if you're paying attention, the message is loud and clear. Many men confuse disrespect with challenge. They think, oh, she's just feisty, or she must like me, she's giving me a hard time. But Stoic men don't mistake chaos for passion. They know that mutual respect is non-negotiable. You are not in the business of proving your worth to anyone. You observe the behavior, you take it seriously, and you don't internalize it. This doesn't mean you overreact or immediately cut people off. It means you begin to set the tone for what you allow in your presence. It's about standing firm with calm clarity and being honest with yourself. If a woman repeatedly shows you she doesn't respect you, believe her. Self-respect begins with awareness. When you recognize that you're being disrespected and stop rationalizing it, you take the first step toward changing the dynamic. And this clarity will guide all your next actions. Number 2, set firm boundaries without apology. Once you've identified the signs of disrespect, the next move is setting clear and firm boundaries. Most men either ignore disrespect or explode in frustration. But a Stoic man handles it differently. He calmly defines his limits and enforces them without drama or desperation. Boundaries are not about controlling others. They're about teaching people how to treat you. When a woman crosses the line, whether it's through criticism, manipulation, or disrespectful behavior, you must be ready to calmly address it. You don't need to yell, lecture, or punish. You simply state, "That's not how I allow myself to be spoken to," or "I don't stay in relationships where I'm constantly criticized." These are not threats. They're declarations of your standard. You're not trying to control her behavior. You're controlling your own response to it. You're making it clear that your presence is valuable, and if someone cannot honor that, you will remove yourself. Many men fear setting boundaries because they think it will push a woman away. But here's the truth. The right woman will respect your standards, not be offended by them. And the wrong woman? She'll test, challenge, or dismiss your boundaries, which is your cue to reassess the relationship. Either way, boundaries reveal everything. From a Stoic lens, boundaries are a reflection of inner discipline. You don't need validation to enforce them. You don't need her agreement. You simply know your values and you live by them. Setting boundaries without apology is the mark of emotional strength, and it naturally attracts the respect that many men chase through approval-seeking behaviors. So, if a woman crosses the line, don't explain endlessly. Don't beg her to understand. Speak with calm conviction. And remember, the boundary you enforce today becomes the self-respect you carry tomorrow. Number 3, respond with calm, not chaos. When disrespected, most men react emotionally. They shout, argue, or withdraw in silence, hoping to punish or get attention. But a Stoic man doesn't let someone else's behavior dictate his internal state. He responds, not reacts. This is a powerful shift. It means you're not governed by someone else's drama. You are the calm in the storm. And when a woman disrespects you, this emotional control becomes your greatest weapon. Responding with calm means you don't match her emotional volatility. If she insults, you don't insult back. If she's sarcastic, you don't out-sarcasm her. Instead, you observe, reflect, and speak with clarity. I noticed you dismissed what I said. That's not okay with me. It's not about being cold or robotic. It's about owning your emotional space and refusing to be dragged into chaos. Women test boundaries, sometimes consciously, sometimes unconsciously. They want to know if you can hold your frame under pressure. If you lose control every time you're challenged, you signal weakness. But if you remain grounded, thoughtful, and firm, you become a man who commands respect without demanding it. Remember, Stoicism doesn't mean you tolerate everything. It means you respond in a way that reflects your values, not your ego. When you feel disrespected, take a breath, reflect, then speak, not from anger, but from truth. This makes you emotionally unshakable, and that, more than anything, shifts the dynamic in your favor. 4, stop explaining yourself repeatedly. A man who constantly feels the need to explain, justify, or defend himself is often in a position of weakness. When a woman doesn't respect you, she'll often create situations where you feel like you need to over-explain your choices, your feelings, even your boundaries. But here's the truth. Respect isn't earned by endless justification. It's maintained by confidence and clarity. A Stoic man knows that repeated explaining is not about communication. It's about trying to gain approval. And once you start trying to win someone's respect through words alone, you've already lost the battle. A woman who truly respects you doesn't need you to over-explain. She listens. She considers your actions, not just your explanations. This doesn't mean you never explain yourself. It means you choose your words wisely and say them once. If you've set a boundary or made a decision, you state it calmly and clearly. If she challenges it, you don't argue. You repeat your stance and let your actions back it up. The moment you find yourself explaining the same thing over and over, take a step back and ask, am I being heard or am I just being tolerated? Respect is not begged for. It's earned through consistency, confidence, and calm. And sometimes, silence is more powerful than any explanation. If she keeps crossing your boundaries even after you've made yourself clear, the issue is not her misunderstanding, it's her lack of respect. And that's a message worth listening to. A Stoic man doesn't argue for his dignity. He lives in alignment with it. And when that's not enough for someone else, he knows how to walk away without bitterness or blame. That's strength, that's clarity, and that's how you stop disrespect in its tracks. 5. Don't chase respect. Command it through action. When a woman disrespects you, the worst thing you can do is try to earn back her respect by doing more, explaining more, or becoming what you think she wants. This is chasing respect. And the more you chase, the more you signal that you don't value yourself. Stoic men don't beg for validation. They live by principles, not approval. Respect isn't something you ask for. It's something that naturally flows toward those who carry themselves with quiet strength and conviction. If a woman sees that you're constantly bending, sacrificing your standards, or tiptoeing around her moods, She'll see you as someone who lacks backbone. And the harsh truth? She'll test you even more. The way to command respect isn't loud. It's not in domination, aggression, or trying to appear alpha. It's in your steadiness. It's in how you hold your line when tested, when you say no and mean it, when you walk away from situations that insult your intelligence or degrade your worth. Remember this: the respect you command begins with the respect you show yourself. A man who honors his time, his word, and his energy, who doesn't let others violate his peace, is a man women notice. Not because he's trying to be noticed, but because he's anchored in self-worth. So, stop chasing. Stop overperforming. Start leading with action. Let your choices be louder than your words. The right woman will respect that. The wrong one will push back, and in doing so, reveal herself. And that's a gift. Because when you stop chasing and start commanding respect, your life becomes a filter. It separates who belongs from who doesn't, without you needing to say a single word. 6. Don't try to fix her behavior, watch your own standards. It's a natural instinct for men to try to fix things. When a woman disrespects you, you might find yourself thinking, maybe if I explain better, if I do more, if I understand her past, she'll treat me differently. But this is a trap. A Stoic man doesn't take ownership of someone else's behavior. He takes ownership of his response to it. Trying to fix her disrespectful behavior is a distraction from the real issue. Why are you allowing it in your life? Every time you excuse bad behavior because she's going through something, or had a rough childhood, or didn't mean it, you send a message to yourself and her. My standards are flexible. And over time, flexible standards erode your identity. The truth is, you cannot fix someone who doesn't see a problem with how they treat you. You can't teach respect to someone who doesn't care if they're disrespecting you. And the longer you stay in that dynamic, the more it chips away at your dignity. What you can fix, what you must fix, is your boundary, your tolerance, your belief that love requires you to accept behavior that drains your soul. A Stoic man holds himself to a standard, and that standard becomes his filter for relationships. So stop asking, how do I make her change? Start asking, why am I accepting this? That question will lead you to clarity. It might be painful, it might require you to walk away, but it will restore your self-respect. And in the end, that's what Stoicism is about. Choosing integrity over impulse, principle over pleasing, self-respect over sacrifice. 7. Master the art of detachment. One of the most powerful tools in the Stoic arsenal is detachment, not coldness, not emotional withdrawal, but the ability to remain grounded in your self-worth, regardless of how others behave. When a woman disrespects you, and you've done everything to communicate clearly and maintain your boundaries, detachment becomes your final tool. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you refuse to let someone else's chaos govern your inner world. It means you know when to stop giving energy to a situation that disrespects your values. You've probably seen it. A man who becomes obsessed with fixing the disrespect, who stays in the relationship hoping for a breakthrough, who internalizes every insult and makes it a reflection of his own worth. That's attachment, and it leads to emotional dependency, resentment, and confusion. Detachment says, I care, but I care about myself enough to let go. I love, but I will not tolerate love that comes with disrespect. I desire connection, but not at the cost of my peace. It's not about shutting down emotionally, it's about elevating emotionally. A Stoic man can walk away without needing revenge, without needing to be understood, without needing closure. He lets go because he knows what he's holding on to is hurting him. Practice this, reflect, observe, and if necessary, release, not with anger, but with clarity. That's the energy of a man who's already whole. And ironically, that's the energy that commands more respect than anything else. Number 8. Build a life that makes disrespect irrelevant. Here's the ultimate move. Build a life so full, so purposeful, and so aligned with your values that disrespect simply can't find a place to live in it. A Stoic man doesn't just avoid disrespect. He creates a world where it doesn't survive. That means surrounding yourself with people who uplift you, pursuing goals that ignite your soul, and living in such a way that your energy naturally filters out anything that doesn't align. When your life is grounded in discipline, purpose, health, and vision, the disrespect of one woman doesn't shake you. It gets filtered out before it even gets close. You no longer seek approval because your days are filled with meaningful action. You don't tolerate drama because your peace has become non-negotiable. You don't chase women because you're too focused building a legacy. This is not about ego or avoidance, it's about embodiment. When you fully live your values, disrespect stands out like noise in a symphony. You see it faster, you address it sooner, and you move on quicker. Because your standards are reflected in your daily life, not just your words. So if you're tired of dealing with women who don't respect you, the most powerful shift isn't just in how you deal with them, it's how you build you. Build the life. Keep your frame. Let your presence be the boundary. And remember, the man who walks with purpose never begs for respect. He attracts it. Disrespect isn't always loud, but it's always revealing. And the man who learns how to spot it early, respond with strength, and walk away without fear, becomes unshakable. Remember, Stoicism isn't about being emotionless. It's about mastering your emotions and never letting someone else's chaos disturb your inner peace. If this video helped you see things clearer, drop a comment below with which point hit you hardest. Subscribe for more content grounded in psychology, masculinity, and emotional intelligence. And share this with a brother who needs to hear it. You deserve respect, not because you demand it, but because you live in a way that makes it impossible to deny. Stay grounded, stay sharp. I'll see you in the next one.